Hey guys, hey, good morning, and welcome back to the Crafty Bunch this morning. It is Mini Monday in the Crafty Bunch, another super fun event hosted by Miss Christie at My Artful Adventures. And I'm just going to start out by saying thank you, Miss Christie, for putting this event together. I love it. I have so much fun, and I love watching what everybody does. This whole event is themed around mini things, M-I-N-I things. It can be a quick project, so mini on time, mini on components, mini on size, whatever you want to do that is small. And that's what we're going to work on today, is something tiny. Good morning, Kendra. How are you, hun? But mine, now last time, good morning, Amanda, that I did Mini Monday, I did recipes. Hi, Judy, that had a mini ingredient list. Today's project is small in size, but it is not mini on ingredients. Good morning, Jeanette. As a matter of fact, it's not a hard project, but it takes a lot of bits and pieces. So I hope it'll be fun. Hey, Judy, I'm doing better today. Good morning, Linda. I'm not going to say I'm great because I'd be lying, but I'm better. I'm able to function quite a little bit better today. A little more flexibility. Good morning, Amy. Hello. Come on in. We're going to make Thimbells. If you were at my sale Friday night, you got introduced to the world of Thimbells, and I have fallen in love with the idea of this project. And to be real honest, I hesitated to share it because it seems so easy when you do it. And but I've decided against it because it's fun. And if you guys want to have fun making your own Thimbells, then I want you to do it. Thank you, Christy. Thank you for putting me in the group. Thank you for organizing the event. Thank you for everything. I couldn't function here in the Crafty Bunch without my sweet friend Christy. She is my right arm and half my left arm most of the time. So thank you. All right, it is 10 o'clock. You guys want to make some Thimbells? First of all, let me tell you what you're going to need. If you would like to make your own, this is a short list of things you're going to need. We're going to start with thimbles. You're going to need some thimbles. Now, I have two kinds of thimbles. These I just ordered from Amazon. They are tiny. They're short. They're small. They're squatty, but they work just fine. Incredibly inexpensive. Okay? So you can order some aluminum thimbles. Do you hear that? Get an idea of what they sound like from Amazon in any quantity that you would want. Okay. Now, you know me, I like the old stuff. So if you would rather play with vintage thimbles, then you're going to have to find some. And maybe you're fortunate enough that you have some from somebody else. I really figured with all the stuff I own, I would have some old thimbles. And I went digging through all of my old sewing stuff, and I found one. Hi, Cheryl Weldon. Your school class is on a field trip. That sounds like fun. So I have been buying some lots of thimbles, L-O-T-S, eBay, Marketplace, wherever I can find them at this point. And, you know, that's just the truth of the matter. Now, a lot of the older ones that you find, hey, Nyla, good to see you, are going to be ceramic. And I understand that you can use the ceramic ones, and that's next on my list to figure out. And when I figure that out, I will share it with you. Because I think these would be absolutely beautiful. Good morning, Janet. But for now, I'm going to stick with the metal ones because I'm a little bit comfortable with them. Hi, Diana Barker. How are you? Okay, so you're going to need thimbles. Look at this one. It's mother of pearl inlaid. Isn't that beautiful? And I want to play with it if I can get a hole in it, okay? I'm not 100% strength today. So I have some that already have holes in them. And so that is for sure what we're going to work with. But thimbles, you're going to need some. Okay, so I've been keeping my vintage thimble collection in this bowl. Good morning, Lori. I'm glad you get to watch while you work a little bit. So here is my bowl of old thimbles. Now, You know I never do anything in small quantity. This is my bag of old thimbles. So, like I said, I got to work out the whole ceramic thing. All right, but I will be. Okay, so then you're going to need some basic jewelry making supplies. I prefer to use eye pins, which just means it's a straight pin, but it already has a loop on one end. That's just cheating on my part. You need the loop, so I just prefer to start with it. Okay, you're going to need jump rings, which are just, those are our fabric bowls. I use them everywhere, Linda. You're going to need jump rings, just little rings that you can join things together with. Then you're going to need an assortment of items that make your clapper, which is the little thing. Hey, Patsy Ray, thank you, honey. You understand what it's like to be hurting and working, right? Good morning, Sherry Brown. You're going to need some ideas for clangers. They are so cool, Sharon Foot. I love them. I love them all, but I really love some of these old metal ones. Those clangers can be anything, but you're going to want a variety of things because they all sound different and you have to give them an ear test, okay? So I have stone beads that I ordered, all right, that I've had. You're working on a D-stash. Karen, I was digging around in the warehouse and I found a bread box full of wood-mounted stamps out there. I don't even use them. Good morning, Becky Simmons. So these are little stone beads. You can use glass beads. These are probably glass. I have glass and stone. They work independently. So you might want beads. You might be able to harvest old jewelry bits, and I love that. You know, these are not pearl. Good morning, Dana Graham. These are plastic, so they give you a different sound than other things. You probably in your craft stash have some charms made out of different things. So these little charms are the glass beads that are already on a charm, you know, and then just charms. They give a different sound. Good morning, Vonda, depending on what they are. So you need something to make a clanger, banger, clapper, whatever you want to call it. Now, my prized clappers are these, which are my antique religious metals. And these are, you know, the treasure right here. And I made a few with these, but these are, these, I want to say sacred. They're not sacred to me. Hi, Debbie Harris, because they don't have any religious significance to me. They're sacred because they're treasure and they're really hard to find. But I was able to buy a collection of them. Good morning, Deb. And so I've been using a few of them kind of sparingly. So any kind of metal charm will work. And then it's really fun time. It's trial and error. As far as tools goes, you're going to need a good ice pick or an awl, something to poke a hole. You may need a little hammer to encourage your awl in case the metal is a little bit hard. And then, oh dear heavens, it fell over. Mercy and goodness. A pad will help you very much when it comes time to poke your holes so that you protect your desk. Okay, so let's just start at the beginning. So this is just some of the new aluminum thimbles that I got. Hi, Jamie Krause. Happy Monday to you, hun. And I just want to show you that if you have a lightweight aluminum thimble, I'm going to tilt you down a little bit here. You can just poke right through them. Oops, except my ice pick's falling apart because I've been beating on it so much. And of course, it's old too. Now it needs a repair. I do not have a picture. I sold a whole bunch of them at my sale. We're making bells out of thimbles. We call them Thimbells. Carrie, I fell on Saturday morning and I racked my ribs on the left side and then hurt my right side on my leg. So I'm kind of from stem to stern, kind of a mess. So you just can poke with your awl or ice pick a little hole in the lighter ones. Hi, Suzanne. So just turn it upside down like this, put it on a mat, find the center, or as close as you can. I've noticed that it's okay if you don't really get perfect center. They hang all right and they ring all right. And I don't know if you can hear it, but they pop when you go through them, and you just need the tiniest hole. So I just have been lining up a bunch of them. Listen real close, we'll see if we can hear it. You hear that? You can hear it as it goes right through there. So the aluminum ones are really easy to get your holes in, and that's the worst of the construction right there. Okay, so I've got 5 pulled out. We'll do that. Like I said, the vintage ones and the newer ones. I bought some new ones I just love, and so far, even with a hammer, I haven't been able to get a hole through them. So I've got my Dremel drill pulled out, and I will eventually get a hole in these. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you. So these are new, but have that pretty vintage look. These also came from Amazon, but they're really, really thick. So these are going to have to be power drilled, okay? And I will get to them eventually. But for now, I'm just sticking with the easy ones. The easy ones. And then a lot of your vintage ones also will be lightweight enough to put your hole right through. And honestly, I just have to try it. Hi, Sherry Campbell. I just turn them up and I look for the middle and I give them a good push. And I can't get through there. Hey, Vonda. So I take my hammer and I try. And if that doesn't work, then for now, I'm just setting them aside. Okay. That's it. That's where we are. I didn't get through that one, by the way. It's a little bit tougher. So that is what you need to do to prepare. Hi, Capri. We're going to make Thimbells. Now, I'm going to leave this cardboard here. If you find it distracting, I did not get any of these thimbles at an auction. I bought some on eBay, and I bought some on Marketplace. You're right, Kendra. You could easily rub and buff. Okay, step number 2 is you're going to take your eye pin. Hi, Kathy Angel. And this is where you just get to play. All right? Because I have found that every thimble, even these that are pretty much the same, sound a little bit different based on what you put in them. So you take your pin with your little circle and you're going to attach something to it. So I was just playing so I'd have one ready. Good morning, Carol. And I put this pearl bead on it and then hooked this little pearl to the eye pin piece, just like that. All right. And then you just have to play, and we're going to play a little bit. Hi, Gina. So you just put that straight pin up through your thimble and you give it a shake. And you listen and see if you find that visually appealing and nice to your ears, right? But let's compare, and let me pull out one of the old thimbles over here. Okay, now this is also an aluminum thimble, but it's old, and compare it in size to the new one, right? Much bigger. And it sounds completely different. The same. Hi, Suzanne. Little clapper sounds completely different based on the metal. Here's the new one again. If I can get it back through the hole, because, you know, I looked away and I'm not holding my mouth right. Oh my gosh, you're digging through drawers. Oh, Diane, hi, thank you. So here it is in the new aluminum, right? I like it, but in comparison, now let me grab a different vintage one. This one is heavier metal. And you hear that? It's not quite as lively as this one. So it's trial and error as you play with them. I like that one. I like that one in the little tinkly noise, okay? And then what I like to do to finish it off is I have some itty bitty tiny beads. Hey, Boom. They do sound like Tinkerbell, Rita. They do. Okay, so I like a little bead on top. And this is just a mixture. I get these in the tube at Hobby Lobby. They're pretty affordable. And then I just like to put a bead on the top. All right, just like that. All right, hi Sue. And then I have my looper tool. Now, if you don't have a looper tool, you're gonna want the plier that has the graduated cone on the side so that you can wrap the loop. I do have some Rusty Bells, Kendra, and they sound completely different. I've tried some. I have some here, I'll show you. Okay, so you put your looper in. If you guys have one, you know how to make it work. And then you just put your little loop right in there. And then I never get mine perfect, so I always have to roll it around. Then your little thimble is ready for whatever you want to attach it to. So I like to add one more jump ring to it, just a metal ring. And then it will be turned correctly for whatever you want to put it on. Lisa, some of them may be, I have not really been checking them. They're supposed to be stamped sterling if they are. This one I believe is aluminum by the way it sounds and feels because it's lighter. Okay. Oh, Jackie, I'm having a good day. I hope you are. I hope you are. I'm feeling still a little bit rough around the edges, but better today than yesterday. Okay, so now this one is complete. It's got a little, sorry, I can't get it to where you can see it because I got big fingers. So it's got a little jump ring through the loop there, and it is ready to be attached to whatever you want to attach it to. Okay, I am loving the idea of making some necklaces with them. That's on my list. I love them in a tassel or a dangle for your journal. I have one of those hanging here, but I've piled it up with other stuff. Super fun anywhere you want to put them. And then I think just to make them display easy, I have been putting them on a little bulb pin or a paper clip just to hold on to them. Hi, Joan. How are you this morning? So this is my bag of bulb pens, and my rack is still over on my other desk from the sale. Hi, Rita. Thank you for the sprinkle. I'm so glad you're here. So I like to just put them on a bulb pin, and then they're ready to hang or display wherever you want until you're ready to use them however you want. Hi, Cheryl B. How are you this morning? So you just put a little bulb pin. Whoops. It helps if you actually get your pin through the bulb pin. And then it's done and ready to wait for you until. But like I said, if you were going to put it on a necklace, like I want to do some, you would just put your chain through that jump ring right there and you'd be good to go. But this is ready to attach to a tassel or any other way you want to. Okay, now you know how. Let's have some fun. All right, so you just take your eye pin like it is here. I take a jump ring. You can mass make these parts. Okay, so you could go through and decorate several of your eye pins and have them ready to go. This piece down here on this jump ring is kind of decorative. I love the little tree decorated with them idea. Because sometimes what you put on this eye pin is actually going to clang in the thimble, but sometimes it's just going to hang below. So let's take one of these gorgeous antique religious medals. This one is so worn I can't even read who it is. I don't even know if it said, to be honest. And let's put it on there. Let's make a really special one. And then we'll make a really fun one, okay? So I've put my beautiful religious medal on there. Now I just need something that's gonna bang around in the thimble to make noise. And it really doesn't matter. It's not gonna show very much. So I have just pulled out some of my beads that I like, but I don't love them in color because you don't see them so much. And let's find a beautiful old thimble in here. And then it won't sound good and we won't like it and we'll trade it out. Ooh, I should have tried to put a hole in this mother of pearl one. I want to try to poke a hole in that one. My gut says I can't. But I haven't tried. Okay, let's see. This one is really beautiful. Do you see the beautiful print? Not unless it focuses on that thimble. You see that? Listen. Listen to the way that sounds. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. In contrast again, you just slip your pin out and you can audition your little clanger. See, I don't like the sound of that one at all. In different thimbles and all the different kinds of metal and material. Ooh, I love that. They sound different. And then if I'm looking at this and maybe this thimble's really long, right? Let's see, did I get a hole in that one? Nope. Some of them I got holes in and some I didn't, and I shouldn't have mixed them up. But I did. I just threw them all back in here. Ooh, this one's really pretty. Let's see how it sounds because it's kind of silver. Oh, listen to that. Okay, now I'm looking at it and I would like my metal to hang a little bit lower. So I'm going to take one of my teeny tiny beads. Again, the color doesn't matter. It's not going to show. Jackie, I fell and it was the dumbest fall ever. I thought there was a seat under me at a restaurant and there was not. And I went down in between two bench seats on the floor. So I caught one bench under my arm and hung my leg up. I have a bad leg that doesn't bend correctly, and I hung it up under the other table. So my left side, I bruised from here to here, and my right side down my leg. And then this, can you see how this is really starting to get pretty? Dumb. Okay, now look. Now we have to, you just have to look and see. Good morning, Debbie Fritz. I like now that I can see my metal hanging out. And I like the way that sounds. That makes me happy. So on top of this one, I'm really loving the pearls on top. But I think on this one, we'll take a clear, kind of a glass bead. And find the hole would be really handy about now. And we just put the little bead on the top like that. And then we use our looper tool. Now, I never thought I needed a looper tool until I bought one. And then trust me, if you're going to make much jewelry or any kind of dangles, you need a looper tool. You're going to wish you had one. Just invest. They're pricey-ish for tools. Thank you, Anne. I'm in love with these. Like, I'm a little bit... I don't like the word obsessed. I think people use it too much, but that's kind of how I feel. They have eaten up all of my creative energy because I just can't think about anything else. Thank you. I will be fine in a few days, but I am getting a little bit better every day, so we'll take that. Okay, put my little jump ring on, and I want to put this one on a necklace and wear it right now, but I don't have my chain here to put it on. You hear that? And we get this beautiful little jingle. Now, I've been putting them in the old ones because I love them, but let's make a cute one with the very inexpensive aluminum thimbles that you can order at Amazon. I want to say that these little ones, no, Linda, I didn't, but I think I'm going to. Maybe. Will I lose the pieces? This is my question. Maybe I just need to buy, because I have the 1.5 millimeter looper. I may need to just get a different one. Okay, so let me show you that you can still get a wonderful little result with these. These were very inexpensive. I think I bought a pack of 80 on Amazon for just a few dollars. So if you just want to play a little, these will work. Now, my experience with these is the best sound I get out of them comes from a metal charm. Okay, so I have my little tub right here of just, Sue, it makes a little bit of difference, the size, but mainly it's the material because anything will clang, so you get about the same volume. But you get a very different sound based on the material. Okay, so let's just take this little silver keyhole heart charm. Oh, and let me grab a rusty bell. I already pinned this rusty bell because I didn't like the way I got a sound out of my bell. But I had a huge rusting party here at my house one day, and this whole jar is full of things I rusted, and there's quite a few little bells in there. So let's, since the bell is on it, let's give it a listen. I wasn't thrilled. I think when I rusted my bells, I lost some of their jingle. I don't think, because see, it doesn't jingle as well as it did before I rusted it. So I'm thinking a little silver bell might actually work better. Okay, I'm going to open my jump ring. I'm going to pop this little charm on the jump ring, and then I'm going to load it onto my eye pin. Okay, so this will be our little clapper in our little aluminum bell. Linda, I don't know if you answered. I think the little 3-sized looper tool has different pins you have to put in it to get the different sizes. Is that right? And I just assumed I would lose them. Okay, so this I think is nice. You have several thimbles. So this sounds good to me. Let me lower it 1 bead, right? Let's pop 1 little bead up in there. Again, I'm going with the little stone bead because it will make a little bit of noise. And then listen. And I like that. Now, because I love the old stuff, it's not quite this, right? But this, I think, is okay. So, little bead on the top. Again, I try not to look. It doesn't matter. Just grab a bead. All right, so 1 little bead on the top. And even with these very, very inexpensive aluminum thimbles from Amazon, you can get a nice, decent result. Okay, and then you just put your looper through there. I always have to take my pliers to my loopy anyway. And you get it. Tina, I was able to put holes in these thimbles with just my ice pick. They're not so heavy. On the little heavier ones, I did ice pick and a hammer. And then I've got my Dremel pulled out, but I haven't used it yet. And I'm going to figure out how to put holes in the ceramic ones. I have a diamond bit ready for that. And I'm going to use the same diamond bit to put a hole in the hard one. You spray rusted. Oh, there you go. That'll work. That'll work. Hey, Maureen. I do feel a little bit better today. No pin needed. 3 different posts on the wrench. Aha! Then I need one because I would not lose that. So look at how cute that is with just our little aluminum, inexpensive Amazon thimble. All right. Can you imagine now? Hi, Jan. How are you? How much fun you could have in one quick evening doing this. Now, if you don't have, these are just jewel pins. They're not the eye pins. Okay? So this is what they look like. They look like a straight pin. They have a little head on them, but no loop, right? So that's what you guys are saying that you have, is these, correct? You can, I'm feeling a little bit better, Sharon. I am functional. How's that? For these, what I would recommend is that you find some kind of a clanger that is a bead. So this is one of my long pearls off an old necklace. So it will sit on there, okay? Then it works exactly the same. What you don't have is a little dingle dangle. Yeah, Jackie, you got to poke a hole in the top with whatever you can. But listen, it sounds just fine, right? You have antique ones. Yeah, I'm gathering quite a collection of antique ones. And of course, now I just want to go hunting, right? It's probably a good thing I haven't felt very good. A little bit of water. I wondered if I put just a drop or 2 of water down in the thimble, if that would be enough. Because, you know, I have all these pretty ceramic ones. But I'm going to try it, just not on the live. Not on the live. So I think this sounds just fine. The only thing you miss is you don't see all of your clanger. But if you put a couple of spacer beads up in there, okay, so let's just add another bead. Let's add 2 to our pin, right? So that it looks like this now has the long pearl clapper. And then I put it through my thimble. Now my little pearl, even though I don't have the loop, is hanging out of the bottom. Okay. It doesn't swing quite the same, but it works just fine. All right, so then I can pop a little bead on the top, put it in my looper. Sure I can. Most days I can put it on my looper, slide it through, give it a good pinch, finish it off. And then even without the eye pin, I just like the eye pin. Good morning, Bev. You still get a cute little sound with your straight pins. So if you don't have eye pins, first of all, they're not expensive. The eye pins are not expensive at all. They're about the same price if you get the eye pins versus the non eye pins. They're a very inexpensive investment, but you can absolutely, you can make these with that. Okay, so let's take, these are just some of the glass beads. Okay, this is just, I love the cracked glass beads. I have a whole bunch. And I also have all kinds of stone beads. Oh, let's grab one of those because I have, these are white, but these are not glass. These are stone beads. Okay, so let's compare. I'll grab another one of the just blunt tipped pins without the eye on them. You can also add a loop down here if you want to with your looper. Okay, you can make it into a looped pin right there, but we'll just put a little stone bead on there. Cheryl B. I was sure I had to have a bunch because I got a bunch of old sewing boxes and there was one thimble in the whole thing. Okay, so I'm not wild about it. So let's see what happens if we lower it a little bit. We'll just stick a couple of these little spacing beads in there. So if you have jewelry making tools, all you need is some thimbles, right? Good morning, good morning. If you don't, it's going to be a bit of an investment to get what you need to create, but they're things you'll use. Okay, so now that we have our little stone bead up in there and we gave it a little room to wiggle. We get them. You make jewelry every day. Jackie, I would make little dangles and charms all day long if I could. They're just one of my very favorite things. Okay, let's try one more bead in there. And I love this because it's like everyone is an experiment. We see what we get and how it sounds, right? If I can hit the hole again, there we go. So now that has a nice sound. Now let's compare. Let me grab one of the old thimbles. This one, bless its heart, look how beat up it is. So a lot of times when you find the old thimbles, they were old advertising thimbles, right? And they'll have stamping in them. But look how beat up that one is. And I thought, oh my goodness, it'll never work because it's so banged up. But listen, even though it's not straight anymore, it still makes a lovely little jingle. Okay, so let's slide every bit of that off. And let's say just for looks, we wanted a rusty bell on there because the rusty bell on its own didn't make a great noise, but we can add it as a charm at the end of the post. And then we have the beads for the noise. Do you love that beat up one, Cheryl? It is really dented up. The advertising ones were, you know, not made of the highest quality metal because companies needed to buy a bunch of them and they got used. Okay, so now if we wanted the look of the little rusty bell, we could get it placed. I'm going to take a bead off. Get it placed so we get the appearance of the little rusty bell, but we still Hey, Lisa, how are you this morning? We still get the sound of that stone bead up in there. Oh, you know, this is a pretty, I agree. It's a great project for a kid that enjoys jewelry making because it's really not super complicated. Oh, I need a little bead on the top. But it is super fun. It is super, super fun, however you did it. So I like that. I like the little bell thing. I'll slide that through. Get a hold of that. There we go. And what I try to do is I get a hold of my pen. I hold it up here. I slide my looper. See if I can turn that around. Hi, Valerie. I slide my looper till it's snug, and then you just pinch. It cuts the end off, and then pinches and makes your loop almost perfectly. I have to use the pliers every time to get it where I'm happy with. Okay, and there we go. That's 4, y'all, and I'm talking my head off. All right, let's see. Let's go back to the beginning and see if I can put a hole in this mother of pearl one. It's risky. It's a risky. All right, so get yourself a nice padded pad so that you can really push. Yep, Rissa, that's what I'm wanting to do, is make necklaces with them. Get you a good old ice pick. I keep this one on my desk all the time. Go from the inside, get as centered as you can, and give it, oh, it went right through. And if you're fortunate, it'll go right through, and we were. If it's not so forgiving, let's try another one. That one is way too heavy. Some of them you pick up and you know, like, this is going to be a power tool operation. And some of them you're not sure. Now I can't find one I'm not sure. This one is fairly heavy, but doesn't feel quite as thick as some of the others. So you just get it on your padded surface. Get yourself a good grip on your pokey tool and see if you can pop it through. I can't get that one to go through, so I'm going to grab my hammer. Break your ice pick, and then I got through with the hammer on that one. See that? We just got through. Rissa, I found some on Marketplace, and I found some at eBay. And now they're on my hunt list everywhere I go. I got a ton of ceramic ones. I'm going to figure out how to get a hole in there. Oh, now she's making... All right, so now we have... I'm going to put this one back in there. I have to do something really extraordinary with this beautiful mother of pearl inlay one. Isn't that gorgeous? That is so special. Okay, so let's figure out... Well, we're going to try the religious medals, as you well know, are going to be my very favorite piece. And my very favorite ones of these medals are the ones that are like cut work. You see that? It's not solid. And I want something that complements, we're going all out this time. I want the color to complement everything. So we're going to slide our eye pin on there. Yeah, these antique religious medals, they are something I can't ever find. Yeah, Janet, I have diamond tipped ones. I just haven't been up to wrestling with my power tools since I started playing with these. So we're going to get there. Goodness knows, because I got a bunch. Okay. So this is going to be what you see hanging out of my treasured bell here. I don't know if you guys saw it. This is my collection of religious antique medals. They are amazing and very, very special. And man, they're just perfect. They're so old. Okay, now this is not going to clang. See, we get nothing there because of the shape of that. So we've got to play a little bit and see what's going to give us a good sound. So I'm going to pop one of my bigger beads on there, all right, and slip it in there. And that is terrible. I don't like that at all. So let's add a couple of spacers and see if it's just too tall. This is the fun part to me. It's all an experiment to see what is going to give us that pleasing tone. And I've been very curious because that mother of pearl inlay may be an added level and it may not clang. It may not make a tinkle just because of the stonework on the outside. Listen to that. Isn't that sad if that doesn't make a beautiful sound? Okay, that's not what we want. Let's grab one of these long pearls and let's see if it'll make a more pleasing sound. Well, a little bit, but not a lot. I love how beautiful this is, but I don't like that we're not getting a good sound. All right, somebody give me an idea. The pearl didn't work. The stone bead didn't work. I was wondering if something metal would work, but all of my charms, I need a good metal bead. And I don't think I have anything that'll go in there. Uh-oh, dropping stuff. Imagine that. Anybody got any ideas? What do you think? I don't think those are going to make any difference. You guys have a collection of all this stuff, or am I the only weirdo? This one's a little different size. Let's see if it makes a difference. It needs something metal. I'm with you guys. I'm just not finding one right handy to my collection. So this beautiful thimble as it is may have to set aside until we can see. Let's try. These are just some dangly pearls off of a different necklace, but they're shaped completely different. So let's see. No satisfactory tinkle on this one at all. A bell inside. A bell might work, but like I said, my rusty bells have not been doing me any favors here. But let's see, because at least it's metal, right? There's a big one. And there's a little one. So this is the fun, you guys. This is the fun to me. It's the experimentation. What is going to... Oh, wait. I have an idea. I just stripped some crystal beads off of a necklace. Just before we started, I took a strand off of this old broken necklace here. And let's see if that one will make a good noise. And here are my... Somebody asked, I was playing with metal spoons and some things like that. These all came from just the fun website. So I have sewing charms that are metal. We're all weirdos too. I know. Here's the spoons. Let's try a metal spoon and let's try one of these crystal beads and see what we get there. Let's go with a big crystal bead. Isn't that pretty? I love the way those look. And let's try that. It's really better. I really think it's the thimble. Really, really do. Okay, so this little metal bell is gonna not be right, but we're gonna see what we can hear. If we can hear it in there. Nope. Hear that? Janet, they came from Temu. You can search metal charms on there and find all kinds. Okay, now I just gotta know what's causing our sound issue. So we gotta try. Here's, I got these, I loved them. Little metal spoons. Can you imagine why I might like those? So let's make a little clanger, one of those, and see if it'll make better noise up there in that mother of pearl bell. No, I'm really bummed about that. I'm really glad I only bought one because they were the most pricey option we had. So if we went with, just for appearances, because these crystal beads are beautiful. So if we go with this one, more for looks than sound, I would put that, that's about as best as we get. I think it's the mother of pearl affecting it. Yes, I do. They are by far the most beautiful bells I have in my collection. But for sound, because of the mother of pearl inlay, it is taken down some of the tinkle. And that's kind of sad because I like it both. But I'm going to love the appearance of this. This will be my necklace. This will be my necklace because it has my favorites. Okay. I found a few more mother of pearl bells available for sale. Tell me, you guys, if you were going to buy one of these, would it be more important that it's pretty or that it sounds better? Because this one doesn't sound better, right? But it is by far gorgeous. Like, look how beautiful that is, the religious metal in the bell. What's more important? The super pleasing tingling or the beauty of it? I hate that we have to pick. So listen, there's the little, I think you could be right. I think we may need a double or a triple. I just put it together. I'm not going to take that one back apart. But there is the option that we could add a second metal charm. I hear what you're saying. I get the idea. I hear it. I hear it that if we had two, like little spoons, let's just say, because I got a whole bunch of little spoons on here. Hey, Missy. I'm with you, Karen. I think if you're going to wear it for a necklace, the pretty of it would be okay, even if it didn't sound so great. I think more if it was going to be in a tassel or something like that, I would want to be able to hear it. Okay, so let's see. We've hung two little spoons on there. Let's just grab any thimble and see. Oh, listen. Listen to that. Isn't that lovely? Wow. I love the way that sounds in there. Let's try it in one of the little Amazon bells. And it just has a totally different tinkling. Yeah. I may need to just go see if I can't find some metal round beads. I think they might be a great little thing. Another thing that I ordered a long, long time ago is you can buy these cracked glass beads that are already thing. Cheryl, I think that might work too. We could put several beads together. All right, let's get a couple more of these put together. This was great. This was a vintage necklace that I've had quite a while, and these were already strung like this. So it was a necklace that had these going all the way around. So if you're going to go looking for items, man, that was really nice, and it was already done. Jackie, I ordered that as a in a pack of them in charms on Temu. I did. I have spoons, teapots, coffee cups, knife and fork. I needed some new charms, and so I just ordered charms that fit my personality. And then these spoons made really good clappers for the bells. I didn't buy them planning the bells, but so see how simple that was? That was just a piece off of a necklace, and it makes a very nice little sound all on its own. And here's our pearls on there. This one I'm going to mount on a necklace, but the jewelry is over there. Let's see. We still have about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Let's make a couple more. Is that all right with you? Is it fun? You like that sound so far? Isn't it fun that they're so different? I mean, this one, as far as parts, is very inexpensive. It's got the Amazon thimble and the Temu charms to make its noise. So it's not in the pricier range, right? The old antique thimbles, they can be pricey. The religious metals, oof, mercy. They're very pricey, very rare, hard to find. So once you get going, you'll be like me and you'll have a whole rack. I got you hooked, Jackie. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know. Do I need to be worried? All right, let's look and see for this fun one here. It's kind of a brass color, and I don't think any of my newer charms here maybe have that color. Look at that. You see those? They're like coffee cups and saucers. Let's try one of those because the color's right. I'm just excited to have the stuff out and be using it. And then there's this cute little teapot. That's the right color. You see that? And it would hang like that. So let's try one of those and see what we get. Okay. And then you're like, but I just made one little thing. And yes, but the truth is you got everything you owned out to do that one little thing. And now your craft room's a mess again. And so worth it. I'm not sad about it one bit. One of my bone buttons. I probably need some bigger jump rings, because I think you would have to put the buttons. I did think about mother of pearl buttons. I don't know. They'd either have to, I'm not sure how they fit on the jewelry findings. All right, let's try the little teapot. Let's see what we get out of that. Okay, and let's just pop this big bead in there for some sound and see what happens. Because I think you would almost need the button. Oh, you could. Oh, listen. Look at the little teapot hanging out of there. Let's put one more spacer bead just to get that teapot hanging right out the bottom. Okay. Anybody else thinking they got to head to the store and get a few things? It might make a good sound. Listen to that. And then I just love how the little teapot hanging out of there is super cute. All right, put a bead on that one. Yeah, that'll be fine. I feel like I'm making funny faces because I got to stare at all the little pieces. I hope I'm not embarrassing myself too much. Making weirdo faces. All right, for any of you guys that bought things from me on Friday, first of all, thank you, thank you, thank you. Second of all, we are processing orders today, and I do plan and hope to get all of the invoices sent out sometime today. Look at that. So now we've got that cute little teapot hanging out of that beautiful colored bell. You love the teapot? They're so much fun. They're just... And you make one, and then you're like, ooh, I got to make one that does this, and I got to make one that does that, right? And I just get so tickled that I'm just having too much fun. I'm just having way too much fun. And then you got like, wait, how will it sound in there? Listen to that. Isn't that not the funnest thing you ever heard? Listen to that. This, we could add a secondary little charm to the bottom. That would be really cute on there. What have we got that would be super nice to hang out of this one? Because it just has that silver bead hanging out. Let's see. Move my old rosary out of the way. It's too big. I would like to try a button. So I may switch gears and try the button. Because I think we got time. We might. So what I did, if you want to make some more, you just take a bunch of your pins and get a bunch of different clangy things put together. Then it makes it really quick. You slide them up into the bell, you give them a little tinkly listen, and you see if it's pleasing to you or not. Okay, my mother of pearl buttons are here. Let's listen to those. My bone buttons are not within arm's reach. Stretching is not my friend. All right, let me tell you, while we're playing here, that the event I'm in today is Mini Mondays in the Crafty Bunch. It goes on all day long, and I'm just the very first presenter today. So you would do me a wonderful justice. I would appreciate it so much if you would hang out a little bit today as you can. Say hi to my friends in the Crafty Bunch and see what everybody's up to. So let's try this mother of pearl with a shank and see what happens. That's right, we're getting angel wings everywhere. All right, let's grab the biggest jump ring and see if we can get that on there. It might, let's play. Let's put the button through like that and just see what happens if we get any sound with it. Not bad, not bad. That's the cheaper thimble. Let's try the old thimble, which just, they make completely different noise. And we get nothing with that. Oops, that one doesn't have a hole. That one is aluminum and has a hole. And that's okay. But I'm not crazy about it. So let's try it with the jump ring. and hang that button the other way around. All right. Do you guys like projects like this? I love seeing what works together. Oh, I'm sorry, Sue. I'm trying to be, we tell my daughter when she's wrestling with something, she needs to suffer in silence. I'm trying not to. Oh, listen. That is really sweet, that little mother of pearl button. So let's drop it down. Let's see how it does. We are making thimbles. I am feeling a little bit better today, Pat. It's going to be slower than I would like, and I don't want to give it any more days. So today I'm just kind of determined. That's nice. That may be the best sound we've gotten out of those little aluminum bells. And that's just a little mother of pearl button in there. I like that. I would like to be able to see it just a little bit. So let me stick a couple of beads. So if you can hang out in the Crafty Bunch when I'm done, just refresh your page. Go hop over there right now into the Crafty Bunch group. You'll see me. Everything stays the same. We've got a great lineup today. And there we can see a little bit of the button. So it's the very best crafting in the world because it's just play. It's creative play. What is going to work? Not too hard. Oh, listen, that's it right there. And then we can barely see that button hanging out of there. And then let's put a little bead on the top of this one and seal it off. And then let's review. Let's play. Okay. We can grade them by looks and sound here. So a lot of you bought Thimbells from me, Friday night sale. I appreciate that very much. Obviously, it's going to be something I'm going to be making for a while. You've never bought anything from them? Well, Jackie, don't start. But there's just some things I can find there that I don't find as easily anywhere else. Let me flop a bead on the top of this one and seal it off, as I love it. And I do like to shop for things from the comfort of my own couch for some things. So from them, I do buy a lot of my charms and things like that. Okay, let me get that bent correctly. There we go. So we have this one, which is just a piece of old necklace. And it's on there. Becky, you can message, but we're putting those together today. And some of them are sold out. All right, here's our little aluminum one with that. Here is our little, our really banged up one that still makes a beautiful sound with our rusty bell hanging out. Hey, Tammy, I'm feeling probably about like you do today, darling. Functional, but not happy about it. There's another little aluminum one with the charm. I found, for my experience, the little aluminum ones with the metal charm gave me my favorite noise with those. Love the teapot. Listen to that. That's like a dinner bell. That's got some substance. Okay. Our little pearl bead, and this is in one of the newer ones. Somebody's fussing at me to do what I'm told for once. Yeah, that's not my strong suit, is it? Oh, thank you. I love my tattoo. I just made an appointment to add some more to it a little later in June. There's that one in our vintage. Oh, I still got time. Whew, I was afraid I was over all of a sudden. Oh, this one. I love the light. I like the soprano tinkle. Like that. And then we made this one with our old antique religious metal. These are my absolute treasured ones. And then here is our one that's all for looks and none much for sound. Janet, I can't handle any more sales of them today. They will be available from time to time for sale. Okay. You can, Becky, or you can message. I just don't want you to be disappointed. I have about half of them sold completely out. No. And then this is the one I'm going to make into my necklace and wear today. Thimbells. Are you encouraged? Are you excited? Are you ready to play and make a mess of your craft studio like I did today, making itty bitty tiny things? You're going to get inspired all day long with lots of mini, M-I-N-I, Okay, mini, M-A-N-Y, mini, M-I-N-I projects. Today in the Crafty Bunch. This wasn't in there. That's why the lid won't close. So hang out and say hi. I would get up and get my chain, y'all, but it's up high and I'm not sure I can reach it today. So in our hour today, even with all my chitter chatting, we made 4, 8, 11. We made 11 Thimbells in a quick hour. How fun is that? I love a project that you can do and finish. So there's a little green butterfly charm in the little silver with the pearl. We need a teeny tiny bead for the top. I'll just grab one of these crystal-y ones because it's sitting right there. And then we get a cute little thing. Oh, good. I'm so glad. That's always what I want. I want you guys to get ideas and be inspired for your own creativity. Share your pictures if you make some into the Crafty Bunch. Please, we want to see what you guys do. And I always tell you, most especially if you get inspired by something you see in the Crafty Bunch, one of our creative team members do, we want to see your pictures because that's what we're all about. That's what we're all about. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Do I have a thimble? No, because I haven't been able to get to my chain since I hurt myself because it's up high. But I just have link chain, long chain. Hey, Michelle. And you just cut the length you want and put it on there with a jump ring. It is not fancy. Renee, you have so many beads and charms. I love them. I love beads and charms, and I would have lots and lots of beads. I don't have as many charms, but that could change any given day. All right, guys. Thank you so much, Christy. Thank you for having me. You just completed an Amazon. Oh, Patsy Ray. All right, guys. Have a great one. I'll see you again really soon. That's all right. It'll take you 10 minutes, Teeny, on replay to catch what we did. See you later.